This conference will now be recorded.
So yeah, so yesterday we saw how to convert a normal program to function. Add function and add logic under that function. I yesterday I explained it. Some people didn't understand. Samuel said he will go and check the video again, and Vivek was asking me to explain. Um, so yeah, I want to start with that. Sam, do you have any doubts that with yesterday's programming? Sam, I couldn't hear you. If you have problem in speaking, yeah, you can type your you can type a message, Sam. And Vivek, you were asking me to uh, do something, right, with the program. Could you tell me that again today? I'll do that. Vivek, are you there? Vivek, are you there? So, guys, any doubts in general with yesterday's programming, like creating a function and adding some logic into that function and calling that function? Could you all say in yes or no? Okay. Divya, Tilly, Sam. Okay, in that case, I'll proceed. So today we are going to see two functions in Python. They are min and max. For example, it's a numeric function. You can use it only for numbers. So for example, I have three different numbers. Number one is equal to 20. Num 2 equal to 30. Num 3 equal to 40. Screen is not visible. Is it? 1 minute. Let me check. Give me 2 minutes. I'll use a different tab to connect. Is it visible now? Okay. So yeah, so what I did was I created three different numbers, and I'll be writing min function, which is min, and then in open brackets you can give multiple parameters. So here I'm going to with comma separated. So here I'm going to give num1, num2, and num3, and hit enter. It is going to tell the minimum number among this list. Three numbers are there, so in those three it is going to give me the minimum. Max is similar, going to give me maximum number. So it is going to give me 40. I'll do one more thing. I'll create a list num1, num2, num3, and then in minimum I'll pass this list num. So guys understood? Okay. So now let's implement a program which will get the input from user, three or four different numbers, and find the minimum and largest number, smallest and largest, and going to give the output to the user. Okay. So guys, tell me what should I do initially? I have to get I have to get multiple numbers from user, and then using the function I have to find the largest and smallest number. What are the steps? Could you guys tell me pseudocode? What all the steps we have to do? How many numbers the user has to enter? For example, let's say the user has to enter 4 numbers. So what are the steps we have to do? Could you tell me the steps first? Then we will implement the steps into code.
Take input of 4 numbers from the user.
Take input 4 numbers. Sorry, I was
Um,
typing in different screen. 4 numbers from the user. Then okay, using input function. What would be the next step? Guys, come on. What is the next step?
um,
So first of all, did you guys understand this min and max? Okay. 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 Then what should we do? Okay. Min, min and max. So first what I have to do is input I have to save it to the variable num1 equal to, and I have to convert it into phone number from the user, convert it into integer, save it to a variable. So the next thing what I'm doing inside num, I'm saving num1, num2, num3, num4, right? Then min of num, max of num. Correct? Anything do we have to change, or I can run the code? Tell me, shall I run the code?
We can include the condition for if
Mm-hmm.
the numbers are equal or something like same numbers. Does the minimum function finds the single value, or it can also bring in two values as well? Because if suppose we have the highest number as, suppose 20 is the highest number, but we have the list as 20, 23, 4. So the maximum number would be 20 two times. So how would he pick the number which both are equal? Or
Mm-hmm.
probably all the numbers are equal. So how would he it find the minimum out of it or maximum out of it?
Mm-hmm. So let's try that. So I'm giving max and also minimum. The same 20 will be printed. First max 20 comma 20 comma 4 comma 3. In that case, 20 is printed.
So we are using both as a max condition. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this is 20, 40. Okay, so if both are equal, then it will bring in the maximum amount, even if
Correct.
they are equal. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
if all
Yeah.
this, if we keep all the things as 20 in the list and we'll carry it as the in the minimum function, then also the answer would be 20.
Yeah, 1 minute. So yeah, the answer is 20 because less than 20, it couldn't find any other number on the list. So according to it is the lowest number, and more than 20, it couldn't find any highest number in the list. So it is printing 20.
Okay.
So shall I run this code? Say yes, say no, or say something. If you find any issue with any line number, tell me. We can rectify that, or I can go and run and see what is output. Okay. So it is telling smallest number is 3 and the largest number is 30. Let me run it again. 20. Sorry, it was 20, but so the smallest number is 20 and the largest number is 202. So now let's cover an happy scenario. Like, what if the input is not valid? What if, so all the scenario we can cover. So if you think of any scenario, let me know. We can implement that and see. Okay, let me run. Give minus 10, 10, 20, 30. It is telling smallest number is minus 10 and the largest number is 30. But Sirisha, what you meant is we shouldn't accept minus chain and give some message to user that minus chain cannot be accepted, something like that, right? Okay. So I can give alpha, float must handle it within code without an exception. So because we are anyway converting it into integer, um, so it will be converted. So yeah, next scenario we will cover that. So what I can do for first scenario, negative numbers, even if I give negative number, the code is not failing. It is giving me the negative number as the smallest number. But in case if you do not want, you can mention here clearly that this program is not going to accept any positive number. Even after mentioning that, they are sending you a positive number. In that case, what we can do, so num equal to minus 10, num equal to, let me print num now, num equal to, we have some function, 1 minute. It should be apps. Okay, 1 minute. Num equal to absolute of num. Yeah, so this absolute, this is called absolute. It is going to, even if it is negative, it is going to give a positive number. Num is equal to absolute of minus 20 is up this one. Absolute of 20.8976. It is giving along with a decimal point. So only the negative sign it is removing, converting the negative to positive number. Okay. Um, So here, what you can do, you can mention that please enter your first number. Only positive numbers are accepted, something like that. If you feel that they are not giving a positive number, then what you can do is num1 equal to, let me try this, num equal to absolute of int of minus 10. Okay, it's not showing an error. So I can here add absolute on top of integer. So first it's converting the input to integer, because whatever input the user enters, it's considered as string. So it is converting to integer, and then I saved it. Let me see. So I'm giving minus 10, 20, 25, 26. So here the smallest number is not minus 10. Here it was minus 10, right? It's not minus 10, it is plus 10. So let me run again. Let me give minus 10, 3, 2, 1. So the largest number is 10, because it's not minus 10, it's converted to 10. So we consider this minus as by mistake the user is entering. So the next question was, what if they are entering alpha or float, right? Float, we know, even when you give float, it is anyway converting into integer. Must handle within code with the exception message. If we run it with alpha value or float value, then we get value error. Let's see. 10.9. Please enter a first number. So the problem is, let me uncomment this line. So in that case, we can convert all the integer to float. So why I'm not talking about exception is I haven't explained what is exception, how to handle exception in Python. So when I explain that, we can take all the old program projects, whatever we have taken, and we can implement exception into those code. But now we see we cannot input float. So I'm converting everything into float because float can also accept integer. So I'll give 10, minus 10, 20, 45 dot 0. So I'm giving integer, positive number, negative number, and also along with float. What happened? Enter the fourth number. Okay, it's not accepting integer here. Here input integer is accepted and it's converting it to float and displaying. But in our code, let me comment everything. So it's working fine. So I have given float, positive float, negative float, positive integer and negative integer. But what was the error here? Invalid literal for integer with base 10. I don't see any integer here input. So I have given mix of integer, positive, negative, and float. Here it is telling what is the smallest number and what is the largest number. So we have handled both integer and float. So even if the user is giving integer or float, it is going to take this, convert it into float, and give the min and max. So let's say one more example. So here let me give element of 10 comma 20 comma along with the string. So it is going to give an error because we cannot combine numbers and string in one single main. We can apply minimum for strings, but everything should be string. There is another way that we will cover later. But if you want to find a minimum value among the number, then everything should be a number. Only number and floats, integer and floats are accepted. So in this case, what if user gives um, alpha? So let me run the program again. So here I'm giving 2. So it is giving me error because this is a string and it couldn't convert this into float. So what we can do is, why is it showing error? Okay, let me run again. Let me comment the logic. Let me get only the input. Control S 10, 20, 30, Q. Okay, it is showing the error here only. What I feel is we can do this. Okay, actually we have a function called isDigit and isAlpha. So what these will do is it will check whether the given value is given input is a digit or given input is a alpha thing, alphabets. Okay, so let me show that here. SR1 is equal to 10, SR2 equal to 2, and then if digit of SR1, sorry, it's a method, so it should be like SR1 dot is digit. What's happening? So that it couldn't find SG1. So it's actually asking, did you mean SGR1? Yeah, I meant SGR1 only. And object has no attribute if digit. Okay, ABC it is telling true. So what we have in ABC is a string 2, which is nothing but 2. So I've given 2 and I'm asking if it is as alpha. So it is telling true. So let me ask if this is alpha. So I am passing numbers inside numbers as a string and I'm asking if they are digits. So here it's not integer or float. We are not checking whether it is integer or float. We are checking if it is numbers like digits. So it is telling true. What I'll do, I'll add ABC. Now we have um, now we have both digits and also alphabets. So in this case, it's going to tell false. We can implement this, but the thing is, whatever we are going to implement, it is going to throw an error. We haven't seen any exception handling till now. So once I teach exception handling, I'll tell how to handle this and how to create exception handler so that the error is not thrown inside in the output. Okay. So let's consider in a negative scenario. In this case, means what if the number is negative? So this is a negative scenario. As of now, this I mean giving a negative integer like -10. So that is a negative scenario. And also, what if the user enters float number, for example 30.0? So we have handled both. We have added absolute and also float. We are handling it. And what if the user doesn't enter any number? So for that, I have to uncomment them. So the what if user doesn't give any input at all? Again, it is going to throw an error. This we have to handle with the help of exception handling only. So the negative scenario what we covered was, so what if the user doesn't give input and what if the user gives characters? Those are like advanced topics. Next level we will see that. As of now, the negative scenario what we have seen is, what if user inputs negative number? What if user inputs float? Got it? So we can do the same thing. I mean, get the largest number in another way. Let me show that. So here I'm not going to ask the I'm not going to ask enter first number, second number, third number, fourth number. I will ask the user to input all the number in one single line, separated by spaces. Okay, so let me add input. Now I will save it into the variable. So let me run this. So it is asking enter a list of numbers separated by spaces. So here I have to, each number I have to separate by space. If I give 2 comma space 3, it's not 23, it is 2 and then 3. Okay, then 80, 89, 34. Okay, so the inputted numbers are 10, 2, 3, 89 and 34. So now, but now I cannot process anything based on this input, right? Because there are spaces. I have to remove the spaces and save each number, each number into different variable, right? So what I'll do is we have seen some function called split, right? Which will remove the space, correct? Let me run that. Syntactically wrong. Okay. So it is telling the inputted values are 10, 2, 3, and 45. It's splitted based on the space, it's splitted each number. Correct? Now I have splitted, but it is in the list form. Let me try applying. Let me pass this input and see what will happen. So I'm getting the input and I'm splitting because it's separated by space, and then I'm adding, saving it to the input list. And then I'm directly applying max on the input list. Let's see if this works. So it is telling the largest number is 97. Similarly, so that's how we have seen first, right? While we try to give max, so I'm giving number, then separated by comma. It was working fine. Even if you give like this, for example, if you give num1 equal to 20, num2 equal to 2, max of num1 comma num, it is going to give me an output. Either I can pass variable icon or I can directly pass the number in the bracket separated by comma. So the split is converting me and giving me this. And then I am directly passing that input list into largest number and smallest number. So here you can see the largest is 89 and the smallest is 13. So here, without giving anything by mistake, the user is giving enter. So here it's throwing error. So what I can do is we can mention that if input list is none. So none means it is telling that it is not having anything inside it, not even a blank space or null, nothing. So it is not having anything. So here I'm telling if the list is none, print the list is empty. Okay, else give the output. So now I have to give space so that it comes under this block. So let me save. So here I'm not going to give anything. Enter. Okay, it's not handling. Exception handling should be implemented. So even though after adding exception, I mean even though after handling the exception, you can tell the user that the list is empty. You can give this output message to the user. But yeah, this should be handled. Let's see after exception handling, let's take the same code and let's implement all the exception we face. So yeah, negative scenario we couldn't handle. But the positive way, how we have to write, find the largest number is implement this. You have address negative number and also the float. Even if it is integer or float or negative, it is going to do the work and give you the minimum and max. This you guys understood. The remaining negative scenario we can see after exception handling. So this you guys understood? Okay. So I would like to give an assignment. The assignment is find find a factorial of a number of a given number. Okay. So what is factorial? You can Google, but let me explain what is factorial. For example, this is how the factorial is written in mathematical form. 4 exclamatory is nothing but 4 factorial, which is nothing but 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So the output is 4 3s are 12, 12 2s are 24. Similarly, 5 factorial equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2, 2 into 1, which is nothing but 24 into 5, 120, yeah. So this is how we have to do factorial. If they are asking in an interview that find a factorial of a number, first this is the logic behind factorial, but how to implement this? So for example, if it is 4, we have to recursively multiply it, right? So what we can do is nothing but n is equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2, correct? 4 and 4 minus 1 is 3 and 4 minus 2 is 2 and 4 minus 3. But we are not sure. If we do not know what is n, we will not know how many this minus we have to do. So here n minus 3 is 1. What if we give n minus 4? Here it becomes 0, right? If you multiply anything with 0, then automatically everything becomes 0, right? So usually in programming language, that is a way what they will do. They will write a function called factorial, and then what they will do in function anyway, all the function will return something, right? So what I'll do, return n into, so what I'm telling is return n into, so return is nothing but it is going to give an output of the function. Let's ignore the logic is return n into factorial of n minus 1. In this case, what does it mean is this 5 factorial, what you can do is 5 minus 1 factorial, which is nothing but 5 into 5 minus 1 is 4, 4 factorial, which is nothing but 5 into, we already know what is 4 factorial, correct? So it is like this. But here also, how would it know that it is ending at 0? So inside this function, I'll add a condition called if n equal to 0 or n equal to 1, return 1, else do this, okay? So usually what happens when you see in Google, you will know 0 factorial is always 1 and 1 factorial is also 1. So in this case, if the number is 0 or 1, you need not do any calculation. You can just return 1. But else, if it is more than 0 or 1, you are going to do this one. Okay, for here, what happens is, if n is equal to, let me open my note. So let's assume the given number is 0. Then what it will do, here it will go inside the function, and if n is equal to 0, this is pass. So if you have, or if either 1 is true, it is true. It is true means it will execute the next line. If it is false, it will come out of if. It will go to else, okay? So that if it is false, it is going to go to else. So since n is equal to 0, this is true, but this is false. True or false, which is T or F, which is T only, true only, right? So if it is true, it is going to return 1. So it is going to return 1, and then later we will have some code which will print the value 1. Okay. What if the user is giving n is equal to 3? So factorial of 3, right? It will call factorial of 3, and then it will check it is not true, because it is here also it is false, here also it is false, so it is totally false. And then it will go to whilst loop. Here what is there is n into factorial of n minus 1. So first what is going to do is n is here nothing but 3, because we have passed 3, right? 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1, which is nothing but 3 into factorial of 2. Correct. Now again this function is called. So factorial of 2 is called. So it is again going to go to factorial of 2. What it will do is factorial of 2. So here again it is false. It is going to come here. So what is there here? N into factorial of n minus 1. So 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1. Factorial of 1. Okay. So again factorial of 1 is called. So here n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, it is going to return 1, correct? Because this is false, but this is true. Since n is equal to 1, it is going to return 1. Here, we are not calling any factorial. Here, if this is pass, no, this is true, it will ignore the else. The else is completely ignored and it will come out, correct? So here, factorial of 1 is 1. So here 1 is replaced instead of factorial of 1, and 2 star 1 is 2. So factorial of 2 is 2. So here factorial of 2 is replaced as 2. Then 3 star 2 is 6. So the answer is 6 is then outputted to the user. Okay. So this is how it recursively calls a function. If you have a function, you cannot implement this without a function. It would be more difficult. You have to write n number of code. But here, since you are calling the same function, you can call the same function. So this function is called again and again. You need not write factorial of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separately. Just give n and then call it again and again. This is going to work this way. So this is why in most cases you will be calling the function again and again. That is, I mean, you will be calling a block of code again and again. That is why we are implementing it into a function. And then because function is callable, you can call it again and again. The whole block will be executed again and again. Whole set of logic. So this is the importance of function, having function in your code. So guys, any doubts with this factorial? Before going to doubts, did you understand what the program, what the factorial is, and how I'm implementing using a function? Did you guys understand this? Okay, no. So, Divya, where was it? Yes, understood. Math module is there too. So, Divya, Divya, should I consider no RS? Okay, no doubts. Okay. So, Sirisha, Divya said they understood. Anybody else? Any doubts? I can retake it.
I
I
have a
can
single
explain.
doubt, not related to factorial, but it's
Mm-hmm.
related to the split function. So,
Mm-hmm.
is the split function already in Python library?
Yeah, we have seen split few days back. Let me open it.
But I don't know why. The spelling is SPLIT. But when
Yeah,
I'm
correct.
running in Visual Studio, so it's throwing an
Mhm.
error that this function is not defined.
So you have given
Okay.
open and close bracket.
Okay, now it's fine. Sorry, because I have put mistakenly a comma, not a dot between
Okay.
the
Okay.
input and this. Okay, now it's
So
fine.
Okay, split is a method. So this is print is a function. It doesn't need anything else. So directly you can write print in open and close bracket. Either you can give some parameter or not. It's an optional. If you are giving, it is going to print. But split is a method. It is called like this is an object. Some object and then followed by dot and then method. That's how you call a method. Object dot method.
Yes.
Again, you have to give open and close bracket. Some you can sometimes give parameter and you can ignore the parameter. So yeah.
Okay, okay. I have put mistakenly a comma on in place
Okay.
of dot, so that's why it is defining it as a like
So if
a
you give
non-definition.
comma, okay, if you give comma, see here underline, some underline is there.
Yes.
So that is like, for example, if you have some grammatical check enabled in Microsoft Word, when you write something wrong, it will give underline red or yellow or green, something like that. Similarly, it is checking the syntax. This is nothing but grammar for Python, grammar for programming language. So it is checking
Hmm.
if it is grammatically wrong. You can first check if there is any underline something. So something is there between this and this,
No,
right? So here what?
underline was there. Yes, underline was
Hmm.
there, but somehow my cursor was on comma, so I could not see whether it was a comma or a dot. So
Um,
mistakenly, I was thinking, what wrong I am doing in the programming language.
okay, that's okay. That happens. That happens every time. We have a separate session for debugging. So I will be
Okay,
writing all nonsense.
I
I'll
will. I
remove
need
most
it
of the
very.
important things.
I need it surely
So yeah, then tomorrow
because
only we will see debugging. So here the first thing what I would say is first the underline will be there, and also sometime what will happen, for example, if I remove this open bracket, see the other input and all before sorry. So now the entire text is in kind of red, some shade of red, right? Like print. In print also you will see the inputted characters are in kind of red, but this variable is in different color because it knows this is a variable and this is a some content which user directly given to input it, I mean print it out. So if I remove this, so if you keep writing Python code every day, then by without seeing this underline only, you will know, oh, this color has changed. Why this is looking in different color? Input and print will always be in red color only. So you will get to know. And also the underline is there for you to help. So here I have given double. Okay. So it is going to go. So either it will be highlighted in the below curvy lines, or otherwise what it does, it shows in different color. So here you see, here it is in orange color, orange or red some color. Usually it will be in blue because it couldn't find the matching thing. So every IDE comes with this. So that is why people do not type their code in Notepad and execute in command prompt. They come and use IDE because most of the time here only you can resolve it without running. Before running, you can resolve all your issues here. So it will come handy as much as you practice, as much you write your code every day, you will get to know, okay, here the color is different, something is wrong. Your eyes will find it automatically. It comes by practice. So Divya and Surisha said there is no doubt. Tilly, Sam, Vivek, any doubts, guys? Or factorial I can take again tomorrow also if there is any doubt. Rajita, Vivek, please tell me whether you have doubts or not. If you didn't understand anything in factorial, then that also you can tell. I can retake it again. No problem. I just want you guys to understand it because this factorial, finding the largest number, and reversing a string, checking palindrome, all those are interview questions. Okay. What about Tilly? Okay, you understand the factorial. Means you understood the complete code, right? The how mathematically what factorial is and how we are implementing using code. Both you understand, right, Tilly?
Ma'am, can we
Okay.
repeat it like tomorrow as well in the morning so that we all can take a revision of the thing and
Yeah.
then
A factorial, right?
yes.
Okay, factorial, I'll retake. And we also will see some debugging, how we have to debug it, and why this word debug came in place. All those things I'll tell. Okay, Tilly, yeah. I mean, when first time when I explain the recursive function, no, it will be like you cannot understand it. Sometimes you will know sometimes you will feel you have understood, but you will not know when to implement this recursive function, why they are going for this method. So all those things we will see tomorrow. Don't worry. We can practice in the session only tomorrow, so don't worry. Thank you, guys.